Hello, my name is Todd Janzen, and I'm an attorney with Janzen Agricultural Law, LLC, in Indianapolis, Indiana. Welcome to the first of a series of what we like to call 10-minute lunch break webinars. We participate in a lot of webinars, just like a lot of you do, and we found that most of them are too long to get through while you're sitting at your desk having lunch. So these are designed to be short topics that you can easily understand and digest in just that 10 minutes that you sit while you're having your lunch break. Likewise, of course, you can watch these on YouTube anytime, whether you're sitting at the airport or driving in a tractor or waiting in line at the store. But since we only have 10 minutes, I want to jump right into today's topic, which was becoming an Ag Data Transparent company. What you need to know about how to become Ag Data Transparent. So what we're going to talk about today are really three things. First of all, what does Ag Data Transparent mean? Where did it come from? How tech providers can obtain use of the Ag Data Transparent seal. And then finally, a look at why exactly a company would want to become Ag Data Transparent and how easy it is to do. So first of all, what are farmers' concerns with the contracts with their ag technology providers? Well, when they've been polled by numerous organizations, it seems like it always comes down to three things: a lack of trust, not enough time to read agreements, and the complexity of agreements that they're asked to sign. So, solving these problems that farmers have raised, well, I give American Farm Bureau a lot of credit because it identified these issues a number of years ago and started working on creating a document called the Privacy and Security Principles for Farm Data. I call them Ag Data's core principles, but they worked with industry players, technology providers, farm groups, and came up with a list of items that they feel should be addressed by companies in their contracts with farmers to make sure they're being fair. These include ownership principles, control, portability, choice, what happens during termination, and so on. Well, in 2011, this document was released to the public, and then a number of companies signed on to it to say they wanted to become followers of the privacy and security principles for farm data. And that was great. Great to see industry buy-in into this effort. But that wasn't enough. So step two, a number of these organizations that signed on to the core principles said we need to have some way to verify that companies are actually doing this, actually following the principles. And so it was determined that the best way to do this would be to have a seal of approval that could be offered to companies who sign on to these principles. And this is where the Ag Data Transparent seal comes into play. And much like the Good Housekeeping seal of approval, the Ag Data Transparent seal recognizes companies that submit their contracts to a process and an evaluation and then are determined to be compliant with the core principles. So who is behind the Ag Data Transparent seal? It's really a number of organizations. It's a nonprofit corporation that has board members that come from a variety of backgrounds, including farm organizations such as American Farm Bureau and National Farmers Union, commodity groups for corn, soy, wheat, sorghum, and potatoes, and then also ag technology providers that come from different segments of the industry, from small to large. And at the center of all these is the administrator, who then reviews contracts to determine whether or not they're compliant. And that's where our law firm gets involved, because we are the entity that does the certification and evaluation of these contracts. So if you're a company and you want to get use of the Ag Data Transparent seal, this is how it works. First of all, you have to sign an agreement that says you want to participate, and you have to pay an appropriate fee, which ranges from $2,000 to $6,000, depending on the size of your company. Second, you have to answer 10 questions about how you use ag data from farmers. And you have to submit your answers together with those contracts that you have farmers sign regarding your ag data platform to the administrator for review. We then will look at the contracts and we'll look at your answers to the questions and we'll determine whether or not they're in compliance with the core principles. If they are, then you're issued an approval letter and you are then free to use the Ag Data Transparent Seal on your marketing materials. And if they're not, then we will send it back to you and say you need to change your answer to this one question or this one, or you need to change your contracts. So the whole process is designed to get companies through to the point where they can use the Ag Data Transparent Seal. We're not in the business of trying to play gotcha and find companies that are violating the principles. We would rather see them make changes and get to the end point, which is use of the Ag Data Transparent Seal. So the 10 questions, what do they look like? Well, they're pretty simple, and each one is based upon these core principles that I talked about earlier. And companies are asked, first of all, to answer yes or no to a question. Secondly, they're asked to provide an explanation for why they answered yes or no. And then finally, they're asked to provide a hyperlink to the actual provision in their contract with a farmer that explains their answer. So question one, this is one that actually is a little different than the others. It requires companies to identify the streams of data that they are collecting from farmers. And there are currently 5 different streams of data that are recognized by the Ag Data Transparency Evaluator: agronomic, land, farm management, machine data, and weather data. And I could go into a lot more detail. We don't have time in 10 minutes, but we're also adding a livestock category for companies that are collecting livestock data. So after companies identify the streams of data, then they begin to answer the other 9 questions, which are all yes or no. And we just have a sample here on the screen, which shows that question 4 asks about whether or not consent is obtained before companies are allowed to provide access to a farmer's data to other companies. Okay, let's now go to the web and see how this looks in reality. So first thing I want to do is go to www.agdna.com. This is the most recent company to have been through the Ag Data Transparent certification process. And if you go to their website, you can see they have a nice graphic there, and then below that they have the Ag Data Transparent Seal. And then they have a nice statement here that says that they are committed to upholding the principles of Ag Data Transparency, and you can learn more, and they have an article that explains their compliance with the Ag Data Transparent Seal. That's fantastic. Next, I want to go to the website for the Ag Data Transparency Evaluator, which is www.agdatatransparent.com. And you can see that this asks right away, is your tech provider Ag Data Transparent? So if you're a farmer, you'll come onto this website and you will click the big green button here to say, I want to see which companies are Ag Data Transparent. This takes you to another screen, and here you can see the 9 companies that have achieved use of the Ag Data Transparent Seal. So let's just pick one at random. Let's pick Agribull, and there's a Read More button. I click on that. Let's say I'm considering whether or not to use Agribull's Morning Farm Report. I can go onto this screen then and see exactly how Agribull answered the 10 questions. Categories of data does the product collect from me? Well, Agribull's product uses agronomic, land, farm management, and machine data. And then you can see how Agribull answered these other questions with yeses. And in fact, they answered each question with a yes. And some companies answer some of these with a no, and that's all right as well. But then you can also click the More button here after I read their answer, and it will take you to their terms and conditions where you can find how they actually answered this question. So let's go back to the agdatatransparent.com homepage. Let's say you're a company and you think, we want to use the Ag Data Transparent Seal. How do you obtain that? Well, the very first step in the process is to go to the homepage and click Certify Your Company. Once you do that, a box will open. You'll fill out this form, and when you submit that form, it will then be routed to the Ag Data Transparent Administrator, who will then be in contact with you with how to take the next step and complete the evaluation. So why should you look for the Ag Data Transparent Seal? Well, for farmers, because it instills trust, transparency, and simplicity. If you're an ag tech provider, why do you want the Ag Data Transparent Seal? From my experience, it makes the contracts that you ask farmers to sign much clearer, much better. It's going to instill farmer trust, and it's easy. It's really not that hard to get the Ag Data Transparent Seal. You just have to put the time and effort into your contracts. So that's our 10-minute lunch break. I hope you enjoyed it. Of course, if you have questions, feel free to reach us at aglaw.us. There are also a number of other articles online there that you should also check out if you're interested in this and other ag technology topics. Thank you very much.